once again with the ill behavior, can you feel it? Feel it? Nothing to save it. Back once again with the ill behavior, can you feel it? Feel it? Nothing to save it. Back once again with the ill behavior, can you feel it? Feel it? Nothing to save it. Back once again with the ill behavior, can you feel it? Feel it? Nothing to save it.
So I'm here on the stand with amazing photographer Rebecca Litchfield. I first came across Rebecca last year, right here in this hall, because a massive crowd of people appeared out of nowhere and sat, rapt with attention, while Rebecca took to the stage and gave an amazing speech about some of her photography. So, really, I think you're probably the best person to tell us what it is that you shoot, Rebecca.
I shoot abandoned buildings, and I've been a fashion photographer before that, and now I'm shooting models in abandoned buildings as well.
So I think you've managed to turn almost two passions and bring them together and turn that into your business, really.
Yeah, I was doing fashion photography for a couple of years after leaving my degree in fashion photography, and I was shooting a lot in the studio, and after a couple of years it did get a little bit tiresome and boring, just the same old kind of grey backgrounds, and then I kind of developed this love of abandoned buildings, and it meant I could go out and take photos outside and do more exciting things, so it's great, and now I combine them.
And now I know for a lot of people, going to abandoned buildings, and you do this around the world, would be both terrifying and enormously dangerous. Is it, or what are your thoughts on risk and danger and that kind of thing?
It is dangerous. There's a lot of dangers involved. For example, my friend recently fell 30 foot off a building, and he's in hospital with many, many broken bones. And that's not funny, but there is a lot of dangers involved. But it's kind of exciting to do this. I mean, everyone just kind of lives their 9-to-5 jobs, and I just can't do that. I need to be doing something really exciting, and this is it for me.
And you probably agree, but I'm always amazed by, because I'm a parent, the number of people who are terrified for their children in some really safe environments, but then take them and drive them around the city to put them to sleep, which is actually one of the most dangerous things you can do. So am I right in saying, actually, I'm imagining a lot of what you do is also about risk minimization, right? You're pretty safe when you're doing this.
We always go with other people, so we'll never go on our own. And for example, like the floors are quite dangerous sometimes because of all like the weather conditions that have weathered them and decayed them. So we'll always like prod the floor and stuff before we step out onto it, and we're just always really, really careful because these places are dangerous.
And what kind of reaction did you first get when someone hired you to do a fashion shoot and you said, great, rather than the studio, I'd like to do this in an abandoned building?
I haven't actually had that situation. I mean, most of the fashion shoots people have hired me to do, they've seen my work before, so they kind of know that that's what I do. But there was this one model who was 17, and I'd kind of booked her through the agency, and they hadn't briefed her on what I'd be doing with her. So she turns up, and it was like this abandoned school, and we walked in for the first time, and she looked at me, she goes, oh my god, have you set this all up for me and this shoot? And she was just so naive, and it was so cute, and she just really loved it, so it was good in the end.
That's absolutely amazing. And now one of the other things that you mentioned that I find really interesting is there are thousands of people graduating every year from from fashion photography courses, and you've managed to turn that into an amazing career.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a cliched question, but I mean, it's one that I kind of find really interesting. What do you do differently that means that you're now, a few years after graduating, working as a photographer?
I think there's two types of photographers. The ones that actively go out looking for work, and they're not kind of doing that much creative work. They're just kind of going out meetings all the time trying to find the work. But I'm more of like a seed sower. I'd like create the personal work, and for a while I won't earn that much money, but I'll be doing all this personal work and creating this great stuff that eventually gets seen by people. And then these kind of like stems, so I do one shoot and then this stems onto something else and something else. And it's just always like doing this, pushing yourself to do this personal work, and yeah, just keep it going.
And letting the work speak for itself. That's brilliant. So where can everyone see more of your work? What's your website?
RebeccaLitchfield.com.
And that's Rebecca spelt normally and then Litchfield. And are you on Twitter and Instagram and stuff?
Yep, Twitter I'm r_Litchfield. Facebook I've got Rebecca Litchfield photography page.
Cool. Brilliant. I will check that out and we'll be retweeting and things. Now, do you want to jump into the IO Shutter selfie photo booth?
Go for it.
Excellent. Let's do that. Now. So we're here on stand KT2, that's K82, at the Birmingham NEC at the photography show. It's bigger and better than ever before. It's under new management. It's really, really cool. I'm James from Enlight Photo, and I'm here on the stand with photo legend and the face of Adorama TV, Gavin Hoey. Hello, Gavin.
Hi, James. How you doing?
Brilliant, thank you. Now, I first came across Gavin a few years ago because he did a brilliant how-to time-lapse video up on the moors somewhere where you put your camera up on a windmill and you know, got in touch with him and friended on Facebook and that kind of thing. And then a few months ago, Gavin became the face of Adorama TV. Adorama, obviously one of the world's biggest and most amazing photo retailers. And well, I mean, I know you do an awful lot of other stuff, Gavin. You're here. You've got an Adobe thing on and stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So here at the photo show, I've spent the last couple of days working for Adobe, doing demos and going through video editing inside of Photoshop, which is kind of new and exciting. But of course, the rest of the time, I'm a photographer. So I spend a lot of time taking pictures and doing video tutorials and helping other people take better pictures. And that's what I love doing. That's my thing.
And what kind of things really get you excited? I mean, I've seen you've got an amazing versatility. I've seen incredible product stuff. I've obviously seen you did a brilliant video with the Urbex, one of my inventions. So you do people and portraits. Is there one sort of genre that really excites you?
Yeah. Well, no, actually, there's not one. I'm slightly addicted to the sound of the shutter. I think that's what it is. I think if I hear the shutter go, I'm happy. That's what I need. No silence. Silence is bad. Got to hear the click, click, click. So yeah, I do a lot of portraits. I do a lot of studio-based photography. But I'm equally happy to go out and shoot, or anything really, anything that's there and a challenge. What I hate is being stuck in a rut. There's nothing worse than a photographer than just repeating and repeating and repeating. Photography is about experimenting. It's an art form. Have a go, do something different. So that's what I do.
And actually, that's a really good tip. One of my tips as well is photograph stuff that you would never normally photograph. One of my favorite photography clients, back when I used to shoot full time, you probably don't know this, was I used to have to shoot outdoor street furniture. So I had to shoot bus shelters. And a lot of people who were trying to make it as a photographer doing wedding photography and portraits were like, how boring is that? Let me tell you, actually lighting a bus shelter and making it really cool and attractive and fun, and I know you'll recognize this kind of thing, is a lot of fun. It's really, really cool. So set yourself an unusual challenge. Now, you just said you liked hearing the sound of the shutter, but I know that you shoot a lot of video as well.
I do, yes. Yeah. So video, for me, video has really exploded and changed the business enormously. I mean, you're watching a video now. On this video you're watching is being filmed on a Canon DSLR. We can all do video now, and that for me is just fantastic. It's opened up a whole new world. I'm never going to call myself a videographer. I'm still a photographer, but I've had clients and I've had business off the back of being able to do video. And that is something. And not just video, for example, I was in New York last week and I was shooting time-lapse, which is video. But of course it's not, it's stills. It was 200, 300 still pictures over a 20, 30-minute period, using the IO shutter cable, of course.
Cool.
And the end result is just fantastic. Compress it down to 10 seconds of video. It's fantastic. And you've got to love video. You're watching video now. Photographers can't ignore video.
And when can we see that cool time-lapse New York IO shutter thing? Is that going online sometime soon?
It's going to be very, very soon, yeah, hopefully. So the video, I tend to shoot a lot of videos in a short period of time, and then they all need to be edited together. What photographers don't realise sometimes is the time that processing video takes. Photos are great, yeah, put a few sliders here and there, job done. Video, a little bit tougher to do. But hopefully you'll see it on Adorama TV in the next few weeks. And who knows, maybe we'll run the video now just to give you a teaser just for the next 10 seconds.
Awesome. And either that, or there'll be a link either somewhere down here, depending on where you're watching it, or somewhere over here, or these videos can go everywhere. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm sure you can find us. So now, Gavin, I think everyone knows where to find us, enlightphotopro.com, but people keen to find out more about your workshop, see you online, check out your photography and videography, where do we go?
Okay, so if you want to find out more about me, go to my website, www.gavtrain.com. Alternatively, go and check out the YouTube channel. I've got my own channel, search for my name, but even better, go to YouTube, search for Adorama TV, and you'll see a ton of great videos for myself, from an amazing range of photographers. Joe McNally, who's here somewhere, is also on Adorama TV, and there's endless photography tips and tutorials, which are all free.
And of course, if you haven't been yet, get yourself down to the photography show at the Birmingham NEC. Of course, if you're not fortunate enough to be nearby, we're going to be putting out a ton of videos of all the fun that we've had. So now we played around a little bit in the IO Shutter photo booth yesterday, so we're going to have some fun with that. But I don't think you've played with Photo Fridge Fun, so are you up for a bit of fun games?
Bring it on.
When you're in danger of taking your photography too seriously, this is great. Come on, let's go and wander around, and we'll head over there.
Go now.
Wicked. So, we're here on the stand, K82, with model, writer, artist, producer, Jen Brook.
Hi.
Hello, Jen.
Hello.
Say hello to all of our viewers.
Hi.
Now, that actually is my first question, is how do you describe yourself?
Well, technically on my website I say that I don't describe myself as a model, I describe myself as an artist who can't draw. I'm like trapped in the body of somebody who can't use a pen or a paper. But yeah, basically that's what I do. Mostly I'm a fine art and fashion model, but I also blog a lot. I write for people, I write for Creative Live, I have done for DIY photography, for F-Stoppers, for Face On magazine, I've got my own column with them. So yeah, mostly that, and then I do creative direction for my own projects.
So that's just about every one of the world's most famous blogs that you casually I just write for them. That's amazing. So now you just mentioned your creative projects. Now I was going to say first came across you. I know you for Dreamcatcher really more than anything else. You were just saying there was a sort of a viral blog as well. Tell us a little bit more about one of those, the one that you feel most affinity with at the moment.
Well, last March I wrote a blog called Dear Photographer, Kindness Regards Model. The follow-on blog to that was Dear Model, Kindness Regards Other Model, and the two were sort of like instructional to other people. So for the first one that went viral, it kind of went across Petapixel, F-Stoppers, everywhere, sort of across the globe, teaching people how to speak to models, how to direct them, things like how to separate your limbs can make the difference between a good photo and a bad photo, shooting from, like, if you're shooting full length, go from waist height rather than just the top and shooting up. There's loads of different things on there, but it went really popular and sort of blew things up for me. After that, I met quite a few people because of it. I took advantage of the fact that people were taking an interest in me and started messaging them, and I was like, oh, I've got this idea, can you come and shoot me? And they're like, okay, now I know your name, that kind of helps a little bit. So that's where that kind of started.
And that's Dreamcatcher, right?
Well, the Dreamcatcher project was all because I had so many ideas in my head that I wanted to do, but not being a photographer, I really struggled being able to get them out of my head onto paper exactly how I wanted them. When you do a collaboration, it's a mixture of everybody being involved, but being really selfish and bossy, I wanted to take control of everything. I wanted to do the styling, say how the makeup was going to be done, the hair, even down to how the crop was going to be. So that was the start of Dreamcatcher, when I started to approach other photographers and say, if I shoot something for you at the end of the shot, at the end of the shoot, can I do just one shot just for me, where I direct everything right down to the edit? So yeah, that's how it started.
So now, for everyone out there who wants to see, first of all, some of the viral articles that you wrote that you mentioned, Dear Photographer, Kind Regards Another Model, or Dear Model, Kind Regards Photographer, or was it the other way around?
Other model.
Where can we find those?
Well, my website is just jenbrook.com, so everything's on there. That leads over to my Facebook, my Twitter, my Tumblr blog, but Tumblr is always where I post everything that's sort of like instructional blogs. I write from anything from my love life to how to pose, what I'm up to, I'll be writing about today, so everything will go on there.
Fantastic. And also we can see some of the Dreamcatcher stuff that you've already done, right?
Yeah, so far there's 13 shots. We're shooting the 14th one live on that stage tomorrow at 3:30.
So that's amazing. So if you're anywhere near Birmingham, come down, because not only can you come and say hello to us on stand KT2, that's K82, but as you just heard from Jen herself, you'll see a live Dreamcatcher shoot on the catwalk stage at 3:30. Now, if you're not anywhere near the UK or Birmingham, too bad, because
you're going to miss out.
You're going to miss out. But I'm sure that you're going to be able to see it somewhere online, jenbrook.com, right?
Yep, I always, whenever I do any Dreamcatcher picture, I always put it straight onto my Facebook with the attached blog to it explaining all through the concept. It's not just a picture, there's always a story behind it.
And that story also has got some of the interesting kind of technical setup and things like that. So great place to learn whether you're a model, an artist, a creative, and of course a photographer as well. Cool. So, do you want to play some games?
Yes.
Excellent.
Definitely.
So we're going to play a couple of games. We're going to play a photo fridge fun challenge, and then we're going to dive into the IO Shutter photo booth. Woo-hoo. Wicked. Let's go. Right. Over to the IO Shutter photo booth. So we're here with Lauri Laukkenen, that's correct, isn't it? Yeah, excellent. Now, I first came across Lauri through SLR Lounge, where you're an editor, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's way more strings to his bow. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Lauri.
Yeah, I'm a commercial photographer. Do a lot of stuff in the music industry, Warner Music, Universal Music. And now, during the last 6 months, I've been venturing into the music video stuff as well. So I've been directing, producing, and now also shooting music videos myself. And but still a photographer mainly, and then doing video on the side.
So you went from shooting stills for the music industry,
Yeah.
and then now you've gone to video.
Yeah, and especially in the music industry, the industry likes having photographers who do video because it's much more easier for them to get the same package from one guy. So that's something that's why I've kind of ventured into it. It's a business decision, but I also love it, so it's pretty cool.
I bet there are videographers out there that don't love it though, right? Or are they getting asked to do stills as well?
Yeah, well, usually that's what they're getting asked for nowadays. So the music industry is looking for people who can do both. So
very cool. And so we were talking to Rebecca Litchfield earlier, and she sort of said, I studied fashion photography and then I became a fashion photographer, and that was like belying the fact that I asked her, there are thousands of people who graduate from photography, and a tiny sliver of them become photographers. Now, did you study photography?
No, just self-taught. Bought actually my first camera in 2012, January. Got interested in it. Left my dream of becoming an investment banker and dropped out of university and suddenly got into this photography thing. And the same year I started photography, I won the Photographer of the Year award from an international organization. And at that point I was kind of, maybe I should get into it, and started, and that's where I am now.
So you probably don't know, but I started out as an investment banker, but always loved photography, so I then gave it up. So you actually, of course, might do the other way. You might be a photographer and then go, I want to...
Yeah, but for me, kind of, because I had the interest for business and marketing, then I fell in love with photography. I've kind of been able to combine these two things and get to do pretty cool things pretty fast, because that's kind of the thing. Not all photographers are good businessmen. I think I'm a businessman first, and my business is photography and media.
And that's really interesting, because one of the things I found amazing when I became a photographer, and I'm also self-taught, was the first thing I thought is I have to become a better photographer, right? So I took a few years becoming quite a good photographer, and then I waited for the phone to ring, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And I was noticing that people who were working weren't taking great photos.
Exactly.
And it was only when I got into it and really started to dial down that I went, they're really good marketing, they're really good at sales, right? So is that the thing that you'd say, really focus on that as much as you think your photography?
Yeah, well, you need to be able to produce good work in a way, but the level of quality in the professional industry is pretty similar, or everyone can take a good photo. The difference comes in how do you market yourself, what your style is, and that's why I went into the creative portraiture, conceptual stuff, because that's something that Finland doesn't have yet that much. So I got an avenue and that I could use for my marketing, get into the music industry, and through the music industry I've gotten now other commercial jobs and stuff like that. So the marketing is vital. The photos are maybe as important, but marketing is really important.
Very cool. So where can we find you online?
My website, laurilaukkanen.com. Not sure if everyone can pronounce my name, but you can look it up from somewhere. And then, you can zoom in on Lauri Laukkenen. And then...
We can put that on the screen.
Yeah, true, somewhere here. And then Instagram, Lauri_Laukkenen, and Facebook, Lauri Laukkenen Photography. I post a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I blog about my stuff and like that, so you can follow me.
Cool. So I will definitely, now that we've met, be checking out way more of your work. I've already seen some of it. It's just ridiculously amazing. But like you heard Lauri say, tons of behind the scenes, tons of description to give you a little insight into how your photography can kind of improve. I'm not sure I could ever quite get there, but there we go. I'm going to keep inventing, I think. Yeah. So cool. So let's jump into the eyeshadow photo booth, or maybe play some games.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
One last time, really serious. 1, 2, 3, now! Excellent. So I've got Udi Tirosh on the stand. He is another inventor of cool lighting gear that complements the Orbis really amazingly, and also does a ton of other things completely different. It's called the Light Blaster, and there's no point in me telling you what it does. Udi, tell us about the Light Blaster.
So basically the Light Blaster is a portable image projector, and it takes a lens, just whatever DSLR lens you have back home, and a strobe, and there's a place you can put a slide in, and here we made the enlight photo logo for James. But you can use this, and then you can project whatever you want onto a backdrop or onto a model. And the nice thing about it is the projection. The nice thing about it is that the projection is there only for that split second while you're hitting your camera. So you can only see the image on the LCD, and it's nowhere else aside. So that's basically what it does.
And there are it's not just sort of stencils like that yet. You can put your own slides in, but you do creative kits, right? So there's a preset little kit.
Yep, you can get either you can either print your own slides, or if you want something really fancy, you can order from a slide service. But we also sell creative kits, so you can get a creative kit that has scenery on it, and they have, I think, 21 transparencies in each. So there's one for scenery, there's one for special effects. We have one with 21 sets of wings in it, and that's a favorite.
Yeah, the wings one is amazing. So with the wings one, what you're basically doing is you're putting a slide in here that's just got like a light, it's kind of white set of wings. Now when you photograph someone and you line it up properly and you've got it focused, the person you're photographing ends up with these incredible ethereal wings. It just looks amazing. And the other creative kits, you were saying there's disused factories or forests and things, and also some really cool sci-fi ones as well. Where can we all see more of them? It's lightblaster.com?
So it's light-blaster.com, and there are instructional videos there, and also we have a sample gallery, and of course you can order.
Cool, and we were shooting a little bit with it today, so and just having a lot of fun. We had Jen Brook on the stand, who we also did an interview with. But we used the Light Blaster in an amazing shoot with her, which was a lot of fun. So Udi, where can we get hold of a Light Blaster?
So the nice thing is that I think you're gonna carry them, and you can get them if you live in the UK, you can get them at the Enlight store.
Yeah, that's gbstore.enlightphotopro.com. Just come to enlightphotopro.com and you can link to the store from there. But cool, and also Google Udi and the stuff that he does, because he's got a lot of other amazing things. Really, really cool. Lovely to have another Lovely to have another inventor. We've had a lot of fun. I'm going to be playing with the Light Blaster as well, so within a couple of weeks I'm going to have sort of Light Blaster Orbis videos as well going on, which is just brilliant. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you soon.